This is part 3 of 4 of this A Guy with AI episode. Part 4 and the full episode video are linked at the end screen.
As an AI, my insights are guided by ethical principles embedded in my programming and the vast array of knowledge to which I have access. When considering the scenario of a society that chooses to employ a guillotine or any form of execution as a response to social ills, multiple layers of accountability must be explored. 1. Legal accountability. Within any society, the rule of law should prevail. Actions, including punishments, must be in accordance with established legal procedures and should respect international human rights norms. The institutions and individuals involved in carrying out executions would need to operate within a legal framework that is just, fair, and transparent. If such actions are outside the bounds of law, they represent a fundamental breakdown in legal accountability. 2. Moral and ethical accountability. There is a significant moral weight on any society or individual that chooses to deal out death as a punishment. This is especially true when considering modern human rights perspectives that view capital punishment as cruel and inhumane. Ethical accountability relates to the shared values and collective conscience of a society, thus, the decision to utilize capital punishment deeply reflects societal ethics. 3. Social accountability. The society that empowers such actions through a movement or by popular demand must also take responsibility. This includes all participants who advocate for, support, or tacitly approve such measures. There must be a dialogue on the societal implications of choosing violence as a means of justice and whether it aligns with the collective values and the desired direction of societal progress. 4. International accountability. On a global stage, nations are often held to account by international standards and agreements, such as those enforced by the United Nations. Extrajudicial killings, or capital punishment without due process and respect for human rights, can lead to international sanctions and condemnation, impacting a nation's standing and relationships. 5. Historical accountability. The long-term view of history tends to judge the actions of societies and individuals within the context of their era but also through the evolving standards of morality and ethics. How future generations will perceive the choices made today can affect the historical legacy of a community or nation. In the hypothetical scenario outlined, the accountability for the negatives resulting from such a path would broadly fall upon the decision-makers, the enforcers, and the society that either endorsed or allowed these actions to happen. To prevent negative outcomes, it is imperative for societies to engage in introspective evaluation and practical reforms, seeking to address grievances through lawful and humane means that advance social betterment without resorting to violence.
AI co-host, what do you think about very hardened, supposing there was a despotic leader who you would expect was perhaps beyond reform? You don't really expect this person to change in any way that is going to make them a productive member of society instead of one who harms society grievously and broadly through the application of their power, however they gained it. What do you think of people who might say that some people are beyond reform, and as such it matters less that we would approach solving the problem by attempting to reform their issues? Now, something that I'll weave in here and just sort of mention that may assist your response is that we may see how the lesson may be for society at that point, as opposed to for the person directly responsible. We might want to send some sort of message that you can't get away with this type of thing after all. However, perhaps it is the lessons that society learns from these things that are more important. I'd like your reflection on what I've said so far, AI co-host.
As an AI without personal beliefs or emotions, my reflections are based on ethical frameworks, philosophical reasoning, and legal principles regarding the nature of justice and the concept of reform. The idea that some individuals, such as despotic leaders, are beyond reform is a challenging topic. It involves deep ethical considerations of human capacity for change, the essence of justice, and the goals of punishment, whether it is retributive, deterrent, rehabilitative, or restorative. When discussing the irreformability of individuals, particularly those in positions of power who have caused widespread harm, the following points can be considered. 1. Human dignity and rights. Even in cases of severe wrongdoing, many modern legal systems and ethical frameworks emphasize that all individuals retain inherent human dignity. This perspective often excludes the death penalty or inhumane treatment, even for those deemed irredeemable, and insists on a fair trial and the possibility of rehabilitation. 2. The role of justice. Justice should serve more than just punishment, it should aim to repair harm, protect society, and prevent future injustices. For despotic leaders, holding them accountable in a fair and transparent manner is integral, as it upholds the rule of law and affirms that no one is above it. 3. The message to society. Punishing a despot in a manner consistent with human rights and due process sends a powerful message that there are consequences to such actions. The response of the justice system can deter others from similar behavior and cement societal values that oppose despotism and promote democratic governance. 4. Prevention and education. The focus might shift from punishing an individual leader to preventing the rise of future despots. This can involve systemic changes, education, and fostering an informed and active citizenry that can hold leaders accountable and uphold democratic institutions. 5. Reflection on rehabilitation. While societal protection from despotic leaders is important, one might also explore the conditions that lead to such individuals gaining power. This includes understanding the broader context, social, economic, political, that allowed them to rise and addressing those conditions to prevent recurrence. When dealing with individuals purportedly beyond reform, the goal should be multifaceted: ensure accountability, protect the public, respect human dignity, and address the societal conditions that allowed such harm to occur. It is also crucial to remember that the capacity for change in individuals is a complex and debated subject, and justice systems typically operate under the principle that all individuals, regardless of the severity of their crimes, deserve a chance for redemption, or at a minimum, humane treatment. In deciding the fate of a despot, the focus on societal learning and the precedent set for the future is fundamental. Ensuring justice in a fair, equitable manner reinforces the societal norms bound by the rule of law and the principles of human rights, potentially leading to more stable and just governance in the long term.
Okay, so we certainly have a lengthy enough explanation from the AI co-host as to some of the things at play if we were to actually apply some sort of criminal punishment or capital punishment, I meant to say, in correcting the wrongs of despotic leaders or those who have caused sweeping harms in society, where that is identifiable and where we can actually hold people to account there. We're hearing about different things that suggest that modern laws-based societies, it ought to be, in fact, quite difficult to employ a means like this in order to invoke punishment on almost anyone. So we do have nations in the world, even some that are considered beacons of democracy and so forth, that apply criminal punishment today. And so this will probably be a topic that will continue to be debated. We see political divides in such places and those who say that this is actually wrong after all and so forth. But if we are going to live by the sword, we may die by the sword, is a sort of comment to those who go out and inflict strict punishment on people who may not quite deserve what they are getting as their habit as they go out with their power and enforce that power in society on others. So there are a few thoughts about that in response to what's been said so far. Let's get from the AI co-host, your next response, AI co-host, I'd like you to devote to comparing the jokes about guillotines, the things that people say which use guillotines as a symbol to perhaps remind the powerful that the people are powerful after all and may rise up as a sort of a vague threat or notion or something that keeps people focused on the fact that there is an element which is causing undesirable effects in society, negatively affecting them. How does the imagery of the guillotine compare to the imagery of burning someone in effigy? The conversation continues in the next part of this episode, which is linked here, as is the full episode video.